Welcome back to Pretty.conspiracy. I am Kay, formerly of K No Sports, and I have a topic here. It is, was Kobe into the dark arts? And so the reason I guess was thinking about this, and that since his untimely death a couple weeks ago, a lot of things have been going through my mind because I'm always like, you know, thinking about, you know, the person as they were here still alive, and then preceding death, and how everything is being brought up that, doesn't quite make sense. And you just trying to say, well, was it a coincidence? Or, and there's a lot of coincidence, and it just seems weird. Well, one video in particular, there was a couple that was made by a YouTuber, Chronicles of Judah 144, who has an awesome channel. His channel it's not a pro-black channel. He mainly does it for men of color, the supposedly black male, as he calls it, and to empower them and to enlighten them. He's very, very intelligent. I am actually subscribed to his channel, and I do watch his channel, even though it's not geared particularly for me. I get a lot out of what he's saying as well. But he had two videos, I remember, and I remember when they first came out because I watched both of them. There was a part 1 and a part 2. It was is Kobe a is he a Luciferian? And it was kind of eye opening because I had never thought about Kobe in that light, because I grew up a Kobe fan. Wasn't much older than me, a few years older than me, and I watched him his entire career. I was a huge fan. That's, like I said, that's really the only reason I watched the Lakers during the later part of the 90s and into the 2000s. They were my favorite team because of Kobe Bryant. So, huge Kobe Bryant fan, and I actually wanted him to play longer, but I knew he had those injuries and he just couldn't play as long as he wanted to. Now, he's only been retired, 3 years, 4 years going on, and he wins the Academy Award Oscar for Best Short Documentary or Short Anime. I don't know. I don't watch the Academy Awards, but I do remember him getting that award in 2018. And it was shocking that he had actually won an Academy Award, because, like, how many sports superstars go on to win Academy Awards? And then he won an Emmy as well. So he was getting all these accolades and all these very prestigious awards, that even actors who have been, in the movie industry for decades couldn't get and coveted, And so the video, is Kobe Bryant Luciferian, was very eye-opening. It was jarring, and it was what Chronicles of Judah brought up was some very, very powerful points. And the thing about me is I'm always able to separate the man from the myth, And so for me, it, it didn't make me dislike Kobe, or hate him, or be like, I can't. I just understood that just because he plays basketball and he's a great basketball player, you know, doesn't always coordinate with him as a human being, but doesn't necessarily mean that he's a bad human being either. Now, was Kobe Bryant into the dark arts? I do believe so, because he often talked about magic. He often talked about the power of magic. Now, there's been others who say that Kobe wasn't into anything sinister, anything like the dark arts or the occult, Luciferian, or any secret organization, as you may want to call it, because they say he was more self-focused, which means, well, it could mean he was very narcissistic, but it means that he was more of a, looking at himself as a godlike figure, almost like a demigod, which a demigod is just a mythologic, is a half human, half god. So I think demigods can die. I believe they can. I'm not sure. I have to look that up further, because I used to really be into mythology when I was younger. But I think that's the thing, is that he was a into the dark arts. He believed in magic. He had the children's book. What was the name of this children's book that he just published? Wizard Nerd. So that was going to be a series of books from him, like, like the Harry Potter series. He was into the dark forces. To me, that's not unusual. To a lot of people, it is, especially if you're a black person, because it's like, whoa, we're Christians. We don't know nothing about the dark arts. But me, growing up, I listened to a lot of heavy metal and punk music. And in that genre of music, there's a lot of devil worshipping. One of my favorite artists, Tori Amos, has a song called Father Lucifer. And so the artists like Metallica, Tori Amos, nearly all the heavy metal artists that you can think of, these were all anti-God, anti-Christ, Christian, anti-Christian. They were atheists, or, they were very open about it. They sung about it, they wrote about it, they lived that life. So isn't for me, even though I wasn't into devil worshiping and into the dark arts, I listened to this music. But like I said, I was always able to separate the man from the myth. I've never gone to the point of, the only person I think I ever did that with when I was younger and a teenager was Kurt Cobain. I idolized him, honestly, until I got more conscious and more awakened and saw everything for what it is, and know that no man is above reproach, and that we all fall short, and no man is worth idolizing, because no man is a god, even though he might see himself as such. Now, I think Kobe probably did see himself as a godlike figure, but that's just you gotta look at how people was treating Kobe and how people treat certain athletes and celebrities and entertainers, and they do treat them as if they are gods, modern day gods. So do they get that complex? I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do at times. So he wouldn't be the only person that would have thought, oh yeah, I'm a god, I'm a demigod. I'm gonna be immortalized, as he had told Tracy McGrady he wanted to be immortalized and die young or whatever. So I think Kobe was into the dark arts. I think maybe he was also into the occult. I don't know the depth of which he was in that, how deep it went. But you never know what a person does behind closed doors. I also think that Kobe Bryant was just a probably more of an introverted person, and kind of a loner. I think he was a deep thinker. So I think that even though he probably was into the dark arts or the occult, he thought this very he thought this through thoroughly. But I do also think he wanted the riches of the world as well. There's some aspects about Kobe that I really like when I hear him speak, and but I don't know him, so I can't speak for him and talk about him in that way. I think he was enlightened to a certain extent, but what he got into during his tenure as a legendary basketball player, I can't tell you. You know, he was living in LA, and we know what LA and Hollywood, all of that signifies and brings with it. And I can never tell you, you know. So, but yes, I do believe that he was into the dark arts. He's pretty much admitted that he likes magic, and it's not a fantasy for him. I think he actually lived that, and he actually practiced that, just like what Tom Brady would practice it. There's a lot of athletes that do. I also think Antonio Brown, and more I look at him in his interviews, also practice some occult, some dark arts, something going on there. Also, Odell Beckham and all of them, I think they all practice something like that to a certain degree. So that's my take on that particular thing. Check out those videos, actually. Chronicles of Judah 144. Check his whole channel out. But those two videos is Kobe, a Luciferian. It's a part 1 and a part 2. And these videos were made back in 2018. So he was talking about this stuff a long time ago. And they're very prevalent now. They're very important now to go back and look at those. And this is Pretty Conspiracy, and I'll come back with another video.